Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I hope you enjoy the video content. If you do, please give me a big thumbs up, and if you enjoy videos featuring canning and southern cooking, I hope that you'll subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I can ham hocks. Now, when I'm canning beans, I put ham hocks in them and I use the ham hock broth in place of water. And we are processing hot today, so hot ingredients, hot jars, hot canner. My jars have all been washed and sterilized in boiling water. They're down here in the dishwasher on the heated dry cycle, staying warm. I'm using a Presto 23-quart pressure canner. I have checked the gasket and the vent and the lock and made sure that it's all in working order, and I have my rack in and I put water in, so I'm going to put it on low and let it start simmering while we get everything ready. Now, what I did was I took 4 smoked ham hocks that I got on sale and I put them in the Instapot and I covered them with water and I pressured them twice on the stew setting for 50 minutes. So with my Instapot, that's 100 total minutes at a pressure of 70. And then I pulled them out and I took all the meat off of them and I've put all the scraps back in the Instapot. And I am going to fill it with water and I'm going to run it on the slow cooker for about 36 hours to make some broth. But I did keep the broth that it made during that 100 minutes, and we're going to use that to can this ham hock in. So I'm going to clean everything up and get everything situated. I will bring you back once I'm ready to start putting it in jars. So I canned black-eyed peas with okra and ham hock the other day, and this is the ham hock that I have left that's sitting in some broth, and I've warmed it up. I have my warm jars. Let me grab a couple of jars. Right, I have a couple of jars. And what I'm going to do, because this is what I had left over, and I certainly don't want ham hock to go to waste, I am going to can this up. That way I will have it ready for me when I need it again. Grab my ladle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill, and there's probably only a couple of pints, but I have some beans that I'm canning up as well, and they go at the same times. 75 minutes for pints, 90 minutes for quarts, for meat, and for beans. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fill these couple of pints, and I think there's only going to be a couple of pints. I'm going to fill these up, and then I'm going to top them up with the broth. And I'm going to debubble them and add more broth if I need to bring it up to. These need to be a 1-inch headspace. So now I'm just going to top these up with the broth that's left. And then I will add that to my slow cooker that is cooking with all the scraps from ham hocks, because anytime I buy ham hocks and cook them down, I make broth from the scraps and can it. So I'm going to debubble. Alright, and the headspace still looks good on both of those. Okay, so now this is a very important step. You don't want to skip this step, even if you think you didn't get anything on the rim. You want to take a piece of clean paper towel and you want to dip that in vinegar and you want to wipe your rims. Right, and when I can meat, I actually do it twice. I wipe them once and then I get another clean piece of paper towel and I wipe them a second time just to be sure. This makes sure that you get a good seal. If there's any oil on the rim, you're not going to get a good seal. So then what you do is you take your lid and you put it on finger tight. Now, it used to be that you had to boil your lids, and I still boil my lids when I water bath can, but it's no longer recommended that you boil your lids. So if you are pressure canning. So I don't boil my lids for pressure canning. Now, you only want these finger tight. So that's all that you want, is just finger tight and into the canner. My canner has a V that you line up on the handle and etched into the lid. You put your lid on, line up the V, and then you lock it into place. Once that's done, you turn up the heat and you wait for the steam to start. So I will bring you back once that happens. So I'm back, and it has come up to a steady stream of pressure. You can see there's a steady stream of pressure. So what we're going to do is we are going to set our timer for 10 minutes, and we are going to let this vent for 10 minutes before we put the regulator on. Okay, so my timer has gone off. That means it's time to put the regulator on. I use a weighted regulator. It's multiple pieces according to your weight. And there is a link in the description below to get your altitude. Everybody's altitude is different. So all that I'm going to do is just drop my regulator on, and I'm going to let it start coming up to pressure. And once that's done, we'll be back. Okay, so we are up to pressure, and the jiggler is jiggling. And it's actually jiggling a little fast. I turned my element down just a touch to get it to my sweet spot, but it's an electric stove, so it takes it a minute to get there. So I'm canning Ham Hocks, and that is a meat. Meat's canned 75 minutes for pints and 90 minutes for quarts. I'm canning in pints, so I'm going to set my timer for 75 minutes. Once that time is up, I'll turn the stove off, and I will let the pressure come down. Now, you will know that your pressure is down and it's safe for you to open the lid when this button right here drops down. It's still going to be steaming hot, but it won't be under pressure anymore. Okay, so you can see that the lock has dropped. That indicates that it is completely down from pressure. I'm going to remove my regulator, and I am going to open the lid. Now, you want to do this carefully. You want to always open away from you because there is still plenty of steam in there. So you want to make sure that you open away. So I'm taking my jars out. I'm lifting them straight up out of the canner. There is an urge to tip them to get the water off the lid. That water is not going to do any harm sitting there. So you don't want to tip them. You want to keep them straight up. And look at this beautiful ham hock in broth. Still bubbling away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them all out. This is my canning towel, and I use it to sit my jars on when I take them out of the canner. You don't want to sit your jars directly onto a cold counter. Hot jar, cold counter, that causes temperature shock, and that can cause damage to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out, and that is just beautiful. I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to leave them sitting here for roughly 24 hours till tomorrow evening, and they will continue to seal. You'll hear them pinging away. Once you get started doing this, you will learn to love the sound of the ping. So you'll hear them pinging as they seal, just like that. And then tomorrow I will take off the rings, and I will check all the seals, and I will wash the jars, and I will label the lids, and I will put them in my pantry. That is such a beautiful sound. So there you have it, ham hocks in broth. It's fresh out of the canner, still bubbling away. Tomorrow I'll take the rings off, and I will check the seals, and I'll wash the jars and label them and put them in the pantry. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of video, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime that I upload a new video. Feel free to leave a comment below. I love to hear what you have to say, and if you have a question, I'll try to answer it or help you find a resource to get an answer from. Thank you so much for watching today, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.